prevailing system in the world for gender relationships and for defining male and female is patriarchy. And on the pages of Scripture, it's almost on every page because the Bible's message comes from within the patriarchal culture. But patriarchy is a fallen system. It's based on the rule of men over women, over children, over property, and also over other men. The original vision that God has was for men and women to rule creation on His behalf. So it's a contradiction of that original vision. So patriarchy is taking the focus away from God as the center and making man the center. Like it's a man's world, and the important thing is for men to rule. And it gets really, it comes in benign forms, very benevolent forms, but it also comes in violent forms and destructive and appalling and the worst things that we see happening in the world. And what patriarchy is ultimately is a continuum. So that when we try to find a kinder, gentler place on the continuum, we're still on that continuum. And I believe that the gospel takes us off that continuum. Jesus said, "My kingdom is not of this world." And so we should be looking for something that is very different from what we see when we look horizontally at what goes on in the world. Jesus battles the Malestrom because He is the perfect image bearer. And in His own story, He violates, patriarchal patterns for, when He's a 12-year-old boy. He never marries. He never has children. In the patriarchal world, that is a man's responsibility to get married and begin producing sons for the next generation. So he's always clashing with the culture. He's open in his relationships with women. He speaks to them in public. He teaches them deep theology. He relies on their support. His providers are female. And, it's just, if you look closely and you think in terms of patriarchy, Jesus is going against every earthly system. He didn't come to endorse earthly fallen systems. He came as the king of a kingdom